What if I told you that your child's report card is a terrible predictor of their future success? That's a pretty bold claim, right? But it's the core idea we're going to dig into today. We're going to look at a totally different kind of report card, one that's designed to measure what actually matters for a successful life.
And this quote, man, it just says it all, doesn't it? Think about it. The things that get you an A in school, like memorizing facts and just following the rules, are not the same skills that make you successful out in the real world. That's the big idea we're going to unpack.
So where did things go wrong? Well, the thinking here is that the problem isn't actually with our kids or even our teachers. It's the system, the whole thing. The argument is that our schools are basically stuck in the past, built for a world that just doesn't exist anymore.
Okay, and this slide really paints a picture of that disconnect. You see, our schools were designed back in the industrial age. Their goal? To create great employees who could follow instructions on a factory line. But today, we're in the information age. We need innovators, problem solvers, creative thinkers. It's like trying to run the latest software on a 100-year-old computer. It just doesn't work.
So if the system itself is the problem, what does that mean for our kids? Well, it means something pretty profound. The kid who's struggling in school, maybe they're not failing at all. Maybe it's the school that's failing them by not recognizing their unique kind of genius.
Let's break this down. This verbal linguistic intelligence, it's just a fancy way of saying word smart. You know, schools absolutely love the kids who are great at reading, writing, and speaking. They get all the gold stars. But what about the budding engineer who can build anything? Or the natural leader organizing all the games at recess? Their brilliance? It often flies completely under the radar in a traditional classroom.
And this right here really shows why that happens. Our schools are basically built for kids who learn by listening and seeing. But what about the kids who need to do things, the kinesthetic learners? Well, in school, they often get slapped with labels like hyperactive or problem children. But you know what? In the real world, those are the doers. They're the action takers, the entrepreneurs, the people who actually build things.
Okay, so if the traditional school report card is broken, what do we replace it with? This is where a simple but really powerful alternative comes in, one that measures real-world skills, a financial report card.
The whole concept kicks off with just two simple words: asset and liability. An asset is anything that puts money in your pocket. The classic example is a lemonade stand. It brings in cash, right? That's an asset. And teaching a kid that one simple definition, it's a huge first step in financial literacy.
And a liability? Well, it's the exact opposite. It's something that takes money out of your pocket, like buying a new video game. As soon as a child understands this simple difference, money stops being this big, scary, abstract thing. It becomes a game with a very clear goal: get as many assets as you can.
And this isn't just some theory. When a child actually sits down with their allowance or birthday money and writes out their income, their expenses, their assets, and their liabilities, they can see it. For the first time, they see exactly where their money is going. And that's when it clicks. They learn, in a very real way, that every single financial choice has a consequence.
All right, let's get into what might be the single most damaging lesson that school teaches our kids, and that is its obsession with punishing mistakes. This slide just says it all, doesn't it? In school, a mistake gets you a big red X. It means you're wrong, you get a bad grade, and it's something to be ashamed of. But out in the real world, a mistake is just feedback. It's data. It is literally how we learn and get better. It's not a sign of failure. It's a sign that you're actually in the game and trying something new.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. I mean, think about it. Isn't it so much better for a kid to lose $10 on a wacky business idea than for them to grow up and lose $100,000 on a bad investment? We have to let our kids make mistakes while the stakes are low. It is the cheapest, most effective education they will ever get. So if our schools are teaching kids to fear failure and they're not teaching them about money, who's supposed to do it? Well, the answer is us, the parents. This whole philosophy is about a huge shift in thinking. Parents have to be the most important financial teachers a child will ever have.
And here is a really powerful, kind of counterintuitive idea to start with. It's not about teaching our kids to be greedy. It's the opposite. You teach them that you don't get rich by taking. You get rich by being generous and solving problems for other people. The more problems you solve, the more financially successful you'll become. It's a total mindset shift from what can I get to how can I help. So here's a great,
practical way to start, the 3 piggy bank strategy. The first one is for charity. Teaching them to give a portion away first builds an abundance mindset, not scarcity. The second is for savings, for those bigger goals like a new bike. And the third one, this is the fun one, is for investing. This is their risk money, the money they can use to experiment, maybe start a tiny business, and learn from those valuable mistakes.
So how do you make all of this a reality? The key is to just start talking. Make money a normal part of your family's conversation. Let your kids watch you pay the bills online. Talk about prices out loud in the grocery store. Discuss finances at the dinner table. The more you normalize the topic of money, the more financially confident and comfortable your kids will become.
So, I'll leave you with this question to think about. What is the most important thing that our schools are failing to teach our kids? Is it financial literacy? Is it how to learn from failure? Whatever the answer is for you, it's clear we can't just rely on the school system to prepare our kids for the real world. That's a job that we, as parents and mentors, have to take on ourselves.